Hey, Alastair. So first off, awesome job. I just want to say that that was really beautiful playing. And I've got a couple tips for you, two to be exact. So the first tip that I want to talk about is in that part that goes from the F to the A minor. So hopefully you can see this with the lighting, but I noticed that your ring finger quite a few times was on top of that metal fret right there, that metal bar. And you always want to make sure that you're super close to it but not on top of it, because if you're on top of it, then it cuts that sound or it doesn't produce the sound. So make sure that you are close to it but not on top of it. Now, the way to get close to it and to play this section, because it's like kind of like cramming your fingers in, it requires a bit of dexterity, is to make sure that your form is proper. So if you go to free lessons above in the menu and you look for the proper left-hand form, you'll see that it talks about this U-shaped gap right here. See this nice little U-shaped gap, and my thumb is slightly above the middle of the neck, not exactly in the middle but slightly above. This U-shaped gap is going to allow me to keep these fingers curved and on a fingertip, and if I can do that, then I can have tons of room for my left hand to get down in the right spot for that fret to make it ring out nice and clean. And if you push hard enough, don't forget to push hard enough. So that's going to help you with the form for that. And ring out nice and cleanly and pretty. So there's the first tip. Now the second tip that I want to talk about is what you mentioned, which is that G chord. Now there's like a ton of ways to approach playing this section. So let's cover a few. And I don't remember what I taught in the lesson because it's been a while. So let's just cover a few of them. So first off, you can do a bar chord or a partial bar chord covering string 1, 2, and 3. Fourth string's open, and then take that middle, put on that third fret of string 2, and then pinky on 5. So when you're walking down, you're going to start out with this shape, and then you can get rid of that pinky, add the ring underneath it, and it's kind of like that same thing we just talked about with that U-shaped gap, although this time around for that bar chord, that thumb's going to be held down a little bit lower, so right in the middle of the neck. And actually, I think it was what I called form 3 on that same lesson, that proper left-hand form talks about it. So going back to it, you start with that pinky, and then take that ring, put it underneath, then lift it up. Right, it's just a regular G, and then you can end with the, what is it? It ended with the 5, right? It's been so long since I played this. There it is. Okay, so there's one option. Another option you could do is take the same partial bar chord. So we start the same with 5, and then this time get rid of pinky, and you can pivot that middle finger down. So you see how I literally pivot down, and I can play the third. Then I pivot up, play the second, and then just go back to pinky. So there's option 2. Now, option 3, we could do kind of like what you were doing, which was on a fingertip. So you see index finger is not barred this time, but it's on a fingertip. And then you can use that ring. Then you can either bar it, which is probably going to be the easiest one, and then add pinky, or start again. You can flip those and stretch for 5, which is going to be a lot more work. Generally, what I'd recommend is to always play with the least amount of effort required, because it's going to make it the easiest. So that required a lot of movement. So give the first and the second option a shot, and let me know how it goes. Hopefully it makes it a little bit easier, and it's a good way to practice bar chords. Anyway, so I hope this helps, and let me know if you have any questions, but keep up the good work.